Hello, I'm Jenna Lynn Roberts with Present Path Tarot. I offer down-to-earth, insightful readings that help you navigate to your best life. Today, I want to help you do your own readings by talking about how to not freak yourself out when you're getting some weird cards. So first of all, just note, we all do this. I was one time backpacking by myself through Southeast Asia and a revolution started happening. Kind of happened before I got there, but I decided to keep traveling through the country even though there was a curfew, and then I suddenly freaked out and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna pull cards, and I got the Tower card and I thought, it looks like a prison, I'm gonna get put in prison. Ah! And now looking back, I recognize that what it really was saying is I was going to be making the same mistake I'd made in the past by putting a lot of responsibility on myself to feel like I was supposed to make a change for this country that I'm just one little person traveling through. I also was freaking out in a way that is very Tower card of me. High anxiety, bit of paranoia. So the Tower card was the right card to pull, but the card was being interpreted badly by myself. It's not easy to read for yourself. When I'm channeling and I'm reading cards for someone, I'm pulling information and I don't understand it always. I'm able to access that information in part because I'm not emotionally tied to it. When we read for ourselves, it's really hard to get out of our own way, which is much easier to do when you're reading for family or friends or strangers. So the first thing is to just acknowledge that it's best to get a reading from someone else, get a friend or a professional, such as myself, to read for you if you're really feeling anxious about something. But if you're just practicing reading for yourself, trying to learn, and you pull some cards and they freak you out, take a moment. The first step is to take a breath and center yourself. Now, before you open any cards for yourself, it's good to scan your body and just feel yourself centered. That's a great way to open up any reading for yourself or other people. So then, during the reading, if you see that anxiety coming up, you can check in with yourself and notice whether it's intuition or anxiety. If you're feeling a panic, it's probably anxiety. So the first step is just to slow down. The second thing to acknowledge is that the cards are inherently compassionate. The cards are not going to be telling you something that you don't have any way to manage. If it's warning you of something, you can be prepared for it. The future is also malleable. So you can choose how you're walking through this step ahead of you. And sometimes you can dodge that step ahead of you if it looks like it's coming for you. So the cards are trying to give you a sense of entitlement and empowerment over your path forward. And it's important for you to first acknowledge that you are empowered to act according to what the cards are telling you in a strong way. First step. So you take your breath and you acknowledge and even say to yourself, the cards are inherently compassionate. The cards are seeking my own empowerment. So then you got to take a moment to kind of look around. What is the message? How are the cards talking to each other? If you get some of those shadowy, dark cards, let's go through those a little bit. So the Tower card, for instance, is not about going to jail in a country that's going through political unrest. That's a stretch. I would say, if anything, the Justice card reversed has a bigger risk of that message. But that also could just be speaking to the imbalance happening in that society. So it's good to not leap into awful, uncontrollable futures. A lot of movies present that as like, that's how tarot works, you know? Oh, you're gonna drown in this country. They did that on Schitt's Creek recently and I was like, no, because that's not what readings are about. So the first step is how are the cards speaking to me to empower myself and to take action towards this thing that scares me? The Tower card is about you controlling your patterns. So think to yourself, if you get the Tower card, how have I been in this situation in the past? How did I manage it? And how do I wish I would have managed it differently? And try to reflect on that first and see what the other cards around that Tower card are trying to say as far as controlling your patterns. Another card that might come up could be the Death card, which in the movies is always death. Ugh, but it's not. Every tarot reader knows the Death card is about puberty. It's about going through a transformation. So one way I like to think about the death card is I have a picture of myself from when I was about 13 years old. And I am greasy. I am zitty. My glasses are awkward. I just look terrible. And I'm in an awkward dress. My body's awkward. And then a couple years later, there's another picture of me and it looks like a different person. I am this blossoming, beautiful young little creature, 15, different than 13. So acknowledging a moment in your own life where you can see that transformation. And when you're in 13, you cannot see to where you're going. You cannot acknowledge how beautiful and amazing you're going to be. So when you get the death card, it's time to celebrate the transformation you're going through and who you get to become. You feel jealous of someone, you get to become more like them in the ways you want to be. You're feeling restricted and unable to move forward in some way, you're going to be able to move forward in that way. You get to become that which you crave and desire, and you get to evolve more towards your higher self. This transformation, sometimes you feel like people think I'm being different or fake or something, but that's not the case. What the amazing thing about it is that when people who truly love you see you after a transformation, they're like, oh, there you are, your veils have been lifted and they can see your higher self. So your friends have always seen that, and so people will accept you on the other side of this transformation, and you have to allow yourself to, like a snake, shed that skin and become fresh and new again. So it is an uncomfortable period, but it is a blossoming that can be celebrated. Another common card is the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man, some people are scared of it. I see it as, I love the Hanged Man personally. I feel it as it's a spiritual surrender. So that's the story of Odin, who hung himself from a tree to sacrifice himself unto himself. So it's a lesson in letting go of that which you have no control over. It's a message of leaning back and letting yourself assess a little bit more what's happening before you and not necessarily take action immediately. It can be a message about meditation, and it also can be a message about you coming into your spiritual wholeness by making some sacrifices to some of the things you're doing that aren't really part of your spiritual wholeness, So that's a card that I find is a really beautiful reflection. Another card that people are scared of is the Devil card, because it's, got the devil on it. That doesn't mean you're possessed. Don't freak out. It means that you are attached to the temporal world in a way that's limiting you and holding you back. So you have to look at your vices, you have to look at your values, and you need to consider that the card, the chains are loose around their necks. Take that chain off and evolve into a more spiritual place. If you get the Devil card reversed, I actually see that as you're able to be free of the vices that hold you back and the petty attachments. So, that's a good thing usually. I also see the Tower card reversed as that you're able to see that which is holding you back in your patterns. So if you get the Tower card reversed, I think it's easier to be like, I'm ready to vanquish this. Also, another note about the Tower card, in the hero's journey, the Tower card is the lesson of the film. It's the climactic defeating of a vanquishing of a demon of some kind. And in life, it's not as much fun as, Wasp Man that Spider-Man vanquishes or whatever. It's a little bit more like getting your time management together. It's a little less, it's a little more mundane, maybe less thrilling, but just as empowering. So acknowledging that if you got that Tower card reversed, you are able to probably, in my view, different readers have different theories and go with your own, but you are able to finally overcome that pattern because you can see the pattern now. Same with the Swords. A lot of the Swords cards are very intimidating, right? Keep in mind when you see those Swords card and you're looking at someone with 10 swords in their back, that is your mind. And you do have the ability to change and shift your mind. Again, meditation is a great gift. Another thing is simply noticing your thoughts as you're going through your day and being kinder to yourself. That's commonly a thing that we need to all do more. The Swords cards are about how your mentality needs to shift. Three of Swords, oh my God, my heart is stabbed. Well, that's because your heart and your mind are not talking to each other well. The Five of Swords, you need to go lick your wounds. You need to go kind of like notice and accept how you lost a battle in the past and come to terms with that. Seven of Swords, that betrayal card, that's an easy one to slip into paranoia on, but are you self-sabotaging yourself? If you're concerned that someone around you is not being trustworthy, that's a message to go out and kind of check around, try and learn more information. But it's not an absolute guarantee that someone's betraying you. It's saying that it could be happening, but it's also potentially you self-sabotaging by being paranoid. So you have to go and do a little homework now. Go find out more information about who you think might be betraying you or who's being presented as such in the cards. And if you get the Nine of Swords, you're worrying so much. You need to get more sleep and you need to take a mental rest from things. So all of the Swords cards are telling you to take some space mentally from that which is, tormenting you. The Fives are also cards that are very hard to deal with. So keep in mind that the 5 happens before the 6. 3, 6, 9. The 3s are typically about the beginner phase being completed. The 6s are about apprentice stage being completed. And the 9s are about mastery. So when you get a 5, you're just about to get to a plateau point. You're just about to get to a point where you're able to really manage on a new level. But you have to go through these fiery gates of the 5s first. Now, if you get that 5 of Cups, oof, it looks like you're going to be in a state of such sorrow and grief. But maybe it's saying you already are and you need to let yourself feel your feelings. If it's reversed, maybe you're milking that bitter seed of life a little long and you need to kind of move on from the grief and the trauma and let yourself just be in a natural state of being without holding to the pain for a moment. You get that 5 of Pentacles. It's asking you to take care of your health. It's asking you to watch how you're spending your money. It's asking you to be resourceful and prepared. Put away some seeds for the winter, And so it's giving you a sense of how to prepare yourself for the future. Taking care of your health is always a good thing to do. And the 5 of Pentacles is simply saying, hey, now is the time. Focus on this. And that 5 of Wands, you're probably having something with battles with people, and you need to be asking yourself if it's worthy, if you need to be in a state of competition, or if it's just you fighting for the sake of fighting. If it's reversed, you probably need to put that battle axe down and let go of a fight that's not going to get you anywhere. So these are all advice. These are giving you guidance of what to manage and how to manage it. It's not saying that you're going to end up in turmoil that you already don't know is kind of in the path ahead of you. If it does look like something is coming, know that trajectories can change based on how we are approaching things, and know that you are being asked to be prepared for what's ahead. So just get yourself ready. Obviously not all life is hunky-dory easy, but the cards believe that you're capable of handling that information if they're giving it to you. So when you read for yourself and you do freak out, take a moment and acknowledge that you are being asked to be prepared and empowered for your future, and go get a professional reading if it's really wigging you out. Because a lot of times you probably got a lot of swords, they look really scary, but they're actually like the 10 of Swords trying to say to you, your mind is not in a healthy space and you need to change that. You need to get therapy. You need to maybe talk to some friends and help them walk you through mentally your future projections you might be doing. And get present with your present moment and how you can care for yourself right now. That's why I call my company Present Path Tarot, because the only thing we have true power to manage is this present moment on our path towards our future. So come and get a reading from me if you ever wig yourself out with a reading. Don't judge yourself for it. I've done it. All my tarot friends have done it. Totally normal. Give yourself compassion and strength and know that the cards trust you to manage your life. So thank you for listening today. Please subscribe, like, ding the bell, Go join my Instagram, go join my email list on presentpathtarot.com and come get a reading from me. I also love to teach people how to read the cards. I offer classes and tutoring sessions. So come on over, say hello, and meet me in person. Take care and good luck with your own readings.